Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, ComixDad here for a special stream tonight. Now, I know I have a guest, but this is not a typical talking shop episode. What this is this is a special stream that I decided to do, and this won't be the first one, but to specifically kind of think of it as like my indie comic highlight videos for those of you who have seen them on my channels. But take that and turn it into a live Q&A instead. So I don't really have necessarily a name for this. What am I calling it in the thumbnail? I don't even remember what I named it in the thumbnail. ComixDad supports. So we'll workshop the title moving forward. But welcome to a special ComixDad stream where we are here to talk to a very special guest, indie comic book creator and writer of a project that I had my eyes on for quite a bit here and there that people had thrown my way. And the fact that it is currently funding on Kickstarter with only 25 hours to go at this point in time. So wanted to, hey, Queen Comics wife, but just wanted to get eyes on this project because I really think that this project can have legs, and it's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of heart from what I see, and just spoilers, I got a little sneak peek, guys, so don't be jelly, or at least don't be too jelly. But but yes, I got a sneak peek. I was able to read through it, and I absolutely loved it. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the book that we are here to talk about tonight is Elysian Fields, Reborn, and here is the creator and writer, Michael Oden. Everybody, please welcome Michael Oden to the channel.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it! I mean, how does one live up to that kind of a build up, man? Like first the high praise, and then you bring me in after a Shia LaBeouf imitating Citizen Kane clap, and then Monty Python. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's all downhill from here. Like,
I have been told I am quite the hype man. Maybe a little too much hype, but no, just kidding. The hype is all worth it. But Michael, welcome to the channel, brother. Go ahead. Just, I guess, give everybody just a quick, brief intro into who you are, what you're doing here. I pretty much laid it out, but go ahead and put it into your own words. Then we'll say hello to the chat, and then we'll get into talking about your book.
I mean, hey, that sounds good. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. I am, of course, as you said, Michael Oden. I am the writer and creator of Elysian Fields. I started Nine Realms Publishing, which is my own comic book publishing imprint, back in 2020. Elysian Fields Reborn is actually a reboot of the very first series that I did when I came into the indie scene, Elysian Fields Issue 0 and Elysian Fields Pyramid Gambit. The first book had quite a bit of success. The second book fell on its face with the grace of cinder blocks hitting teeth. But anyways, I've been doing a lot of work in indie comics since then. I have created characters like The Embrace. I've done silly parody books like SPQR's Bizarre Adventure. I've reimagined public domain heroes in a book called Judex. Like it's been a fantastic past 5 years, and between writing and editing, I've gotten a chance to work on 9 projects, and that's given me quite a bit of experience. And so that's really what that's really what's led me here to revitalizing this launch series, because I agree with you. I do think that there are legs here, and I'm hoping that when we get a chance to show it off, people get to see why.
Oh, for sure, and I definitely think they will. But before we get into that, let's go say hello to the comics crew, the chat.
Of course.
So first and foremost, thank you everybody. 10 people currently watching between YouTube and Rumble. Please remember to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel here, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube and follow the channel over on Rumble. Also, we did just hit 300 subscribers on YouTube last week. So if you go follow me on X, or if you check out on the YouTube page, there is a poll currently going. I think it expires in 2 days on X, if that. Where I have 3 options up. Go ahead and vote for what kind of new content you want to see on the channel. Currently, the leader is comic book recommendations plus extra. Now, I won't get into what the plus extra is. You guys just have to find out if that ends up being the winner. But everybody, go ahead and go vote. But let's say hello to the chat. So first off, we have Error of Fate on YouTube. Says, hello, fellow humans. Error of Fate, one of the faithful comics crew. I appreciate you being here, Error. Hope you're doing well. Yep. I'm probably not going to be in. If I am, I'll be late. No, it's all good, Error. You know I'm going to be here. White Devil Otaku says, Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Hello to all.
Woo.
Hello, White Devil Otaku. John Ambler, hail comics crew. BRB just walked through the door. No, I get it, John. You're all good, man. Deborah Perkins, what's going on, lady? Says, hail ComixDad. Hail Deborah Perkins. Panda Simone's in the chat saying hi to Error. Good to see you, Panda Simone. Hope you're doing well, lady. Mash says, hey, everybody. Howdy,
Woo.
Mash. Good to see you, man. Good to see you back. And Queen Comics Wife is in the chat. My lovely wife, of course, Queen Comics Wife says, hey, guys. Quick aside, every stream I do, I always want to shout her out. So without Queen Comics Wife, none of this would be possible. She is my backbone. She is my rock and my foundation. She also has her own channels on YouTube and Rumble. So Deborah or John, if you could please drop her YouTube and Rumble channel links in the chat for everybody, that would be great. Thank you so much. Let's see. Do we have anybody else here currently just hanging out with the crew in the chat?
I see my fiance in the chat. Hi, Miranda.
Oh, Miranda. Hello, chat. Well, hello, Miranda. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the comics crew. And it sounds like you're already familiar with this. Wait, camera. There we go. This guy over here.
Somewhat. Only marginally familiar. Just marginally.
Oh, and that's right. Just one last thing for Queen Comics Wife. Today, she released her new cooking video. She started doing cooking videos on her channel at the beginning of the month. This one is she made homemade stick bread from scratch. So go ahead and go check that out as well. Cool. Well, thank you to everybody who is here hanging out watching. Anybody who is lurking, thank you. I appreciate you lurkers. If you want to, hop in the chat and say hello. Also, as we go on through the night, which would not all night, hour and a half, maybe roughly, no word limits, but we'll just see how things go. But regardless, anybody has any questions for Michael about the project or about anything else, go ahead, put them in the chat. I'll try and mark them as I see them pop up, and then we'll go through them later on. But without further ado, Michael, let us over here.
I know this book.
I think you do. I think you do. So, Elysian Fields. So, like you were saying, 5 years ago, I believe it was, you gave this title an initial launch, and you said the first book did pretty well. The second book, not really so much. Kind of what I guess was the drive or the initial spark to give it a go 5 years ago versus and then coming around back to it now.
It's a concept that I've always loved. I mean, at its base, Elysian Fields, and this is no matter whether it's the original or Reborn, at its base level, Elysian Fields is effectively Mortal Kombat with heroes of mythology, right? And so like it's the age-old discussion of who would win in a fight, so and so versus so and so. And like it, for comic book nerds, those discussions are normally geared towards like, oh, who'd win a fight between Batman and Captain America? But for real geeks like myself, who grew up hearing hearing the Iliad as his bedtime story every night and everything like that.
Oh, really?
yeah, like those questions were also like, oh, who would win a fight between Achilles and Gilgamesh, or who would win in a fight? Who would win in a wrestling match between Beowulf and Heracles? And so like that was the whole thing. Is I would get into those arguments as well with my very nerdy friends that I surrounded myself with.
And I feel like that's the conversations that really need to be had
Oh,
outside of economic and financial and socio-political conversations. Outside of those, the other important conversations are really, okay, who would win, Superman or Goku? Okay, who would
well,
win, Spider-Man or Blue Beetle?
that whole thing is dumb. Goku literally got taken down by a laser bolt in Revival F. Superman wins. I'm sorry, and this is speaking as a weeb myself. Superman wins that fight. Sorry. Moving on, but yeah, like
Yeah, I didn't mean to open up that can of worms, because if that's the route we're gonna go down, I could go on for probably at least a good half an hour or so about it myself. But
like, would it also-
I hear what you're saying. Just know that that you're wrong.
you can tell me I'm wrong all you want. Superman is literally created to be a character without limitation, and especially if you're going pre-crisis Superman wins, and even post-crisis Superman wins. Really, the only Superman I think that Goku could take is like New 52 era, because New 52 era is a clown.
Fair, very fair.
But and I say this is like I have read and watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I have seen all of the stuff between. We ignore GT's existence and we talk about Super and Daima. Like there is no form that Goku can go to that can match anything that Superman does. Like at the end of the day, Superman held a book of infinite pages. Yes, he had help. If you divide infinity by 2, what is it, ComixDad?
42.
No.
The answer is always 42 in life.
It's still infinity. He held up the concept of infinity.
For sure.
You don't win. Like you can't. And like the other big thing is that people go, oh well, Superman's weak to kryptonite. Goku wouldn't fight him using kryptonite. No. Goku would see that he was weak to kryptonite and then punt it into the sun and be like, I want to fight you at your best.
Yeah, because I want all of you. Let's go. And he doesn't stop.
If you were talking about Superman versus Frieza, maybe you have a bit more of an argument. Because I feel like Frieza would then learn about kryptonite and go like, oh, okay, I will use this. And so the question is that would Superman be able to stick away from the kryptonite that Frieza's using long enough to get the knockout punch? Like I think that there are absolutely characters in that universe that could do it, but Goku is not that guy.
No, for sure. I hear you. I hear you on that, and that's a conversation we can continue definitely another day. But let us go into from Goku versus Superman to Achilles versus practically all of Greek mythology.
Well, it's not really Greek. So like that's the beauty of this is it's like we start off our story, and you see Achilles' final battle at Troy, right? Mm-hmm. So you see him die. You see him go down to the underworld. He reunites with his loved ones. It's sweet. It's nice. He does this for about 30 seconds before he's ripped away. Pixel. That's my boy right there.
What's going on, Pixel Trader?
He and I were just talking earlier today because he came up with another joke book, and I'm probably going to end up writing it for him. But anyways, so Achilles gets ripped away from this peaceful reunion to go to this arena where he has to fight alongside the mythical Heracles and Queen Hippolyta of the Amazons against all these different heroes from different mythological pantheons. And their goal is to help Hades regain his dominion over the underworld through this tournament. And so it's not Achilles versus everyone in Greek mythology. It's Achilles, Heracles, and Hippolyta against all the heroes from different global mythologies.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm not brushed up on my, let alone my Greek mythology, which is why I went there. But like but my various mythos in general, I am not brushed up on them. So I mean, I recognize the names, but I couldn't place which
And
culture or which age they came from. So that's
that
why I
is,
just defaulted to Greek.
and that's more than fair. And like that's like it's one of these things where like I'm very excited about this because all of the characters that you're going to see in this, they're in this series, they're all characters that exist in some way, shape, or form within the cultural subconscious because they're the bedrock of civilization.
Mhm.
Is that it? One of the things that tethers all civilizations together is that we all have heroic traditions, right? I mean,
Oh,
that's
for
what
sure.
comic books are, right? They're the most recent evolution of that cycle of heroic tradition. And so this book series, if I do this right, will allow for people to gain a new set of appreciation for these characters of historical and mythological importance to respective cultures and hopefully get people to go out and research them and read about them. And you know, when I do the trade collections of each arc, I do plan on doing like things where it'll be like you'll have a character guide that'll kind of give brief summaries um about who each of these people are,
Mhm.
what mythologies they are from, where you can like a so at the towards the end of this first book, Heracles and Hippolyta are fighting Gilgamesh and Enkidu, who are of course from the Sumerian Epic of Gilgamesh.
Mhm.
So like that's a good place for you to go take a look if you really liked those characters, or even if you're just curious about who they are. That's where you can go find out about them.
Oh, for sure, and that is, and that's something that 'cause, that's something that you and I talked about after I was able to get my sneak peek and to read through all this, which again appreciated, and I for sure am also going to be being one of your backers in the next 24 hours here, but yeah, yeah, for anybody who's just hopping in now, I got a sneak peek again. Be jealous, but no, and we were talking about that though, and yeah, definitely in the books moving forward. And I mean, uh even if I don't know, maybe in at least in the digital form, if there's a way you could just like maybe slide like a little index in there, and like one of the end pages or one of the beginning pages, just be like, oh, by the way, the characters you'll see in this book, or oh, the characters you saw in this book are such and such, are Heracles, are Gilgamesh, are Achilles of this pantheon or of this mythos of this culture, this, that, and the other. So this way, just in case there's people that don't really know maybe where to look, and like you were talking about how in future chapters you would love to have something in there like that. I think that's a great idea because after reading it myself, like I said, I knew I have heard all of those names before. I could not match them up to the proper mythos and cultures that they belonged with, though.
That's
So
that's
having that
that's a
would be
fair
really
point.
nice.
No, and I like it. I think that like that's a fair point. And I actually it's funny because I think I did when I did Pyramid Gambit, I had like a little thing towards the end where it was like, here's the roster of all the characters that you saw, and like we would go and break down who each of them were, and then if they died in that book, they would have a blood splat across their
I like that.
character profile.
I'm just scrolling up through here to see some people talking about how they love the art and everything. So I'm just going back up through some of the
I
pages on
have
the Kickstarter
I
here.
have been genuinely blessed with just a phenomenal art team.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
it's absurd.
Well, you know
Uh,
what? Let's scroll because you got them all listed in here. So let's scroll on down. And by the way, for anybody who wants to go back this on Kickstarter, Pixel Trader, there you go. That's your next crowdfunding site, Kickstarter.
yeah,
But for anybody who wants to go back this on Kickstarter, I have the link in the description of the stream. Also, if one of my mods wants to maybe grab it and just pop it in the chat, just kind of here and there throughout the night, that'd be great too. But let's see, we've got some characters. Well, you know what, we'll work our way down the page. How about that? So we've got our list of characters here. Our main protagonist is Achilles, of course.
yeah.
So why did you choose Achilles of all characters to kind of make
Well,
your main
so
first main character?
so I think that the biggest thing is he's a character that I understand more than like anyone. I think that one of the big advantages of writing with characters that have existed for as long as they have is there's a wealth of collected back catalog where you can inform yourself on how they should be. And Achilles has been one of those characters that I have been fascinated with my entire life. As I stated, um, growing up, my dad would read me this beautifully illustrated edition of the Iliad and the Odyssey, specifically the Iliad. That was always my favorite. And Achilles was my favorite character as a kid. I used to like reenact the fight between Achilles and Hector and the dragging of Hector's body and everything like that because I was a weird 5-year-old. Um, and so like that was the whole thing is I was very invested in it. And then as I got older and I actually got to understand what the Iliad is really about, because as a kid, all you care about is the cool pictures of the people fighting and the cool armor and
Of
this, that,
course.
the other. Achilles was this very fascinating character. I think that as much as Troy did him well in sequences like the beach scene or his opening fight with Bagrius, they did him an incredible disservice by misrepresenting what the Iliad is as a story. And it's really interesting because I saw a couple of people. I saw someone have a post on this, and like everyone in the comments, it's very clear. You guys have all missed the point of what the Iliad was. It's like, who is the hero of the Iliad, Achilles or Hector? And the real thing about the Iliad is that when you're looking at the Iliad, you have to judge it as a poem within the context of its own time.
Mhm. Of course, of course. Judging it outside of or reading anything, whether it's William Shakespeare or the Iliad or anything else that was written more
Correct.
than our lifetimes ago, you always have to take that into consideration. And the
Correct.
fact that, especially when it comes to making a movie adaptations of things, like they always wanna cut straight to the thing that they know will sell money and not necessarily, well, not always, but most of the time.
No,
And
that's
they
that's
don't want
that's
to get
fairly
to the meat and
accurate. Yeah.
potatoes.
Well, and that's one of the big problems with Troy as well is that they wanted to do the entire Trojan War, but they like everyone just wants to focus on the Iliad as well. But like you can't really do that. The Iliad takes place in the ninth year of the. That's a whole other thing. But the main the main issue with this is Achilles is the hero of the Iliad in that he is the subject of its story. Characters like Hector, and there's also a character in there, Diomedes. I'd say Ajax is one of these as well.
Okay.
Odysseus. All of these other heroic characters that are big name characters are in this book as what I like to call measuring sticks. Okay? Because at the end of the day, this is a story about Achilles' rage, about its destructive force. When we open the Iliad, it opens up with this prelude that says, "Sing, Muse, sing of the rage of Peleus' son. Sing of the rage of Achilles that caused countless woes to Greek and Trojan alike and led many a body to be feasted on by vultures and dogs." Like this is how the Iliad opens.
Yeah.
It is a story about the destructive force of rage. And what does Achilles have that none of these other characters has? He has divine blood. So his rage is his divine trait. And it is therefore more enhanced than any of the other human characters that we see. And so we get to see characters like Diomedes and Ajax and Hector and all of these people do these very impressive things throughout the book, gain our respect as an audience throughout the book, so that when Patroclus dies and Achilles finally lets loose, because for the first half of the Iliad, his rage is in a passive state.
Mhm.
Agamemnon took away his toy. He's not happy about that. So he's pouted. He went to his mom. He said, make these men lose because they took away my thing.
That's actually, I've never really thought about it that way. That's actually a great analogy. He pouted like a spoiled
That's
child.
exactly. And like this is another thing that a lot of people don't realize. Achilles was between the ages of 13 and 16 when he sailed for Troy.
Really, I
Imagine
didn't
you
know
are a
that.
13-year-old. You've never fought in battle before, but you get ripped out of a school you were hidden at to go be a part of an army where you are being told that not only are you going to lead men into battle, but that you are going to be considered the best warrior of all Greece. You
Jeez.
are being told that from the jump. And then, sure as shit, you get to fight and you live up to the rep.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah. I mean,
sacking cities left and right.
I knew
And you
he
do
was.
that for 9 years.
Yeah, I knew he was like fairly young. I didn't realize it was between 13
Oh,
and
yeah.
16. I thought it
So
was like maybe like 17 to 19, somewhere
he
around
is
there.
he is between the ages of 13 and 16.
Jeez.
When Odysseus, like, this is the whole thing, is when Thetis, his mother, the sea nymph, discovers that he is destined to die at Troy if he goes there. Thetis takes him out of training with the centaur Chiron and brings him to this island called Skyros, where on this you have this guy, King Lycomedes, who at his court runs a girls' school. And because of how young Achilles is, she is able to convincingly disguise this prepubescent Achilles as a
Okay.
girl. And this is where Odysseus finds him to bring him to the Greek army assembled at Aulis, and
Gotcha.
has to trick him out of hiding.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, you're blowing my mind because like I said, I know I'm not clearly I'm not as well read as you on all this.
This is what I do. Like,
This is what you do, and this is your source material, obviously, that you're going off of. But like, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting history class on ComixDad channel. Sit back and enjoy. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's and to just go back to to Achilles' rage. I mean,
yeah,
clearly the beginning, as you said, takes place at the Battle of Troy and
yeah.
his death and everything. And by that point in his story, we're seeing that, and
Well,
it shows so, and it's represented so well just in
and
the opening scenes of the
when
book.
you see, and that's the crazy thing, is what you are seeing in the opening pages is really an Achilles that doesn't care anymore. Like, yeah, he's got rage, like he still has that divine trait. But as I said, the whole parable of the Iliad is about the destructive force of rage. And it ends with Achilles acknowledging that holding on to the rage that he has lost him everything. Right? And
Yeah,
this leads to him giving Priam back Hector's body. But by this point, Hector's been dead for almost a year. Like he's fought dozens of other champions that Troy has brought in to try and keep morale going. Um, like and I'm seeing great comments in the chat, and I
oh
will
yeah.
address.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
I am as we're going, I am
yeah,
starring. So chat, anybody as I pinned in the comment sections of both YouTube and Rumble chats, whatever questions or any kind of comments you have or anything regarding the book, any questions for Michael, I am going through. I am marking them as they're popping up, so I'm not ignoring you guys. Just we are going to get to those a little later on. We want to go. We're just
I
going to get through the
appreciate it.
Kickstarter
I
page here first.
I just have like the HD, and so I've been seeing all these great questions. Like, I am excited to answer these, and I want people to know that I am also paying attention.
Yes,
But
absolutely. We will be getting your questions, Queen Comics Way, for everybody else to Michael. Just bear with us. I know it's exciting. I'm
so,
excited for this book, and I read it, so we
so,
will
so
we
like,
will definitely be getting to your questions. Don't worry, guys.
and that's the whole thing, is that by this point, Achilles knows it's only a matter of time before he dies. He doesn't know how it's going to happen. He doesn't know when. And he's probably assuming that it's going to be in the most epic way possible, fighting some opponent that can finally match his might. Because that's what you would figure.
Oh, of
And
course.
as everyone who knows anything about Achilles knows, that's not really how that story goes down.
No, he doesn't
Um,
get the big hero's death
he
that he
he
wanted.
he doesn't. He gets killed by Paris, who gets a lucky shot that's guided by Apollo, and because he gets hit in his one weak spot, and the arrow's covered in poison, that kills him. And there's a tragic irony there that's very Greek thematically. Um, on that, and so he goes down into the underworld, and he is like, even when he gets to this arena, you definitely get to feel a thing of, he's not even really sure he wants to do this.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like,
Because
he's
as
very
everybody,
much a reluctant participant.
yeah, because as everybody will see in the book, he kind of there's a moment in between his death and entering this arena. There's a moment where like he's kind of maybe not necessarily good and is truly at peace, but like he's kind of okay.
Yeah,
So
no, he like, well, that's actively the point of that whole sequence, is that it reminds him of what being at peace is like, and he's surrounded. He is with the person he cares for the most in the world. Um,
yeah, and
and
I was hoping I wasn't giving necessarily too much away, but I just wanted to kind of
no,
make a little bit of the connection of what you were going
I
on in terms of like he how you were saying like maybe he doesn't even necessarily know if he wants to be going back into this arena to battle and
and
everything. So
that's one of the beautiful things, is that at the end of the day, no story worth telling is without character, and that's the beauty of this story of Achilles. Is it is a story focused on Achilles that really asks the question of, can we really change? Achilles is going into this tournament, and he is a reluctant participant, but then he gets presented with the one thing he never really had in life: a challenge. And so pride, the thing that drove him in life to his end, starts to rear its ugly head. He is finally fighting the caliber of warrior he was meant to fight. Because here's the big uh, mis uh, misinterpretation of all Hollywood adaptations of the Trojan War. The fight between Achilles and Hector was not a fair fight. Achilles slaughtered that dude. He chased Hector around the walls of Troy 3 times before Hector got tricked into facing him by Athena. And Achilles kills him in one strike. And then does all the other horrible shit to his body afterwards. And like, that's why I said, like, the Iliad is filled with these characters that I like to call measuring sticks, because everything that they do, every clash that they have with one another, is meant to set up the horror movie monster that Achilles becomes from book 19 onward.
yeah,
And that's like that's the whole thing, is Achilles never really had an equal.
Hmm.
that he fought in his life. That I would say the closest one he had is a person he fights very shortly after Hector, um, named Penthesilea. She was an Amazonian queen, and she will play a role in later parts of this story. Um, but like that, like she was the closest one, and she didn't really do much against him either. Most of these people were effectively just extras that
Yeah,
were there
pretty
to
much.
bridge the gap. And now he's fighting these heroes that are of a completely different caliber than anything that he's faced. And
Well,
so, can he still be the man of peace? Can he still turn away from this at the when everything's all said and done? Will he be able to go back to peace, or will he cling on to glory?
hmm and what I think of, kind of when you were talking about his pride, and when I got to the end of the book, or not necessarily the end, but to the point where he shows up in this arena here, was the adage that I could think of was pride. What is it? Pride before the fall.
Yeah,
And but my then I kind of got a little more philosophical with it. Was okay, pride before the fall, but he's already fallen, so where will the pride take him now?
exactly.
So, and that's kind of I don't know if maybe that's I got a little too deep in there, or
No,
but
no,
that was all I could think of
that's
because
that's
like
that's absolutely a thing, and it's an it's an interesting thing to play with, because you're right, all of these characters have died.
mhm.
And so how is that going to affect not just their motivations, but how they fight?
Oh,
Every
absolutely.
single one of them has died. How is that going to and as you are fighting, and you're not even fighting for your own life at this point, so what are you fighting for?
Yeah. You're
Like,
fighting for
yeah,
you're
you
fighting a
tried.
battle for somebody else to try to claim territory. Which I mean,
Yeah,
for somebody like Achilles, he was a warrior in an army that was about conquest and taking over
yeah,
places and whatnot. Anyway, aside with also everything with Hector and everything that what he went on, but at the end of the day, an army is really about either one of two things: either protection or invasion.
yeah.
And so for somebody like for a character like Achilles, yeah, that may not necessarily be much of a change for him, but for
It's
some
just
other
another day of work.
characters, it definitely could be.
Like Achilles was a part of one of the greatest armies ever has assembled in mythology slash history. So like that's just it, like fighting for another man's goals is just another day of work for him.
What's going on, Eric? Says book looks so good. Yes, it does, man. Yes, it does. Um,
Eric's great. I
oh,
love
Eric,
working with. So I have the pleasure of working with Eric on American Bliss, over at Genuine Comics. I get to. Dave Brink has entrusted me with the scribing duties of Kendra, and it's a blast. And Eric just does a tremendous job on that book.
it's American Bliss, Genuine Comics with Dave and all his stuff he's got going on over there. Dave is definitely somebody I would like to have to come onto the channel at some point. I am booked out through a certain point in the year, so I've kind of put pause on inviting people on just yet. But once I get freed up again as we go through the summer, Dave, if you're
I'm
watching,
sure he would love to come on. Dave is one of the nicest guys.
yeah, and I definitely want to. I definitely need an opportunity. Well, not need. I will find an opportunity to check out his stuff, but I don't want to. I don't want to reach out prematurely. I want to be able to because I hear good things about Dave and Genuine Comics
Mhm.
and everything. So I want to be able to dive into it before I just reach out. But yeah, Eric is good people. Eric, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Eric's been on the channel before. He's actually going to be back next week with Pixel and with Piper Steed for we're gonna do something like this for the Little Mermaid as well. But so
Little
Eric, I will
Mermaid
be
is
seeing you in about a week and a half, good sir, almost 2 weeks. But let's so we've Achilles obviously is our main protagonist. We
Yeah.
have been talking about him, but let's go on to some of these other characters that we have in here. So
Yes.
let's go on to Heracles.
Ah,
Heracles, first and foremost, his design is awesome. He looks like such a badass.
this is. I will. You got. You can at me. This is the best Heracles has ever looked. Get on. Get on. Will Tiago and Ruvian's level. This was clutch, and I'm very proud of the way that I directed. It's like I remember when I was having my first conversations with Will. I was like, all right, we want this to be like a Hulk-sized character, and I was like, Heracles wears this Nemean lion pelt. And I told Will, I was like, I want you to make the lion's face effectively his helmet, so that Heracles is peering out through the eyes of the Nemean lion's face.
And it
Like,
works, man. It
and he
works.
was just like, I got you. And then when Ruvian was doing the colors, I was like, all right, the Nemean lion's pelt is allegedly impenetrable. I want you to give it a metallic sheen. And he went, I got you, fam. And then look at this.
Yep, and you see that right here on the
So
on the
good.
back, around the waist here. It works, man. It works. It looks really awesome. At first, I didn't even think that was a dude. At first, I thought it was like an actual like lion man hybrid that
Nope,
existed in mythology that I didn't know existed.
this is how Heracles should look, and I'm very happy with it. It's so good.
For sure, for sure. And what I guess was the kind of what popped into your head to make you think, hey, you know what, I want to drop Heracles into this too.
He's the most well-known Greek hero of all time. He is the strongest Greek hero. If you are going to have a team of Greek heroes representing in an underworld tournament, and you do not have the strong like the person that is probably if you most associated with the characteristic of strength ever, you've made a serious misjudgment.
Oh, for sure. And it's like assembling any kind of team. If you're in baseball and you can have any player from any time ever, of course you want to go and grab Babe Ruth. Hockey,
exactly.
of course you want to go grab Wayne Gretzky or Gordie Howe. Soccer, of course you want to go grab David Beckham or Messi in his prime or somebody like that. So it makes sense.
And so like that's the whole thing is it's like, and it's also really fun because like as part of the rules of the tournament, they're like the contestants have to have lived a mortal life, and if they had ascended to any form of deity, they have to have resigned their deification.
Mm-hmm.
And so Heracles in this story gave up his godhood to be able to fight in this tournament. And so he's a very fun character.
Well, and that is definitely interesting. And I hopefully whether it's number 2, number 4, number 10, whatever number issue or chapter of this we get, story will be told. That's actually really interesting. So I now knowing that, I want to see that play out so badly and see what the repercussions of that are. But that's obviously now that you, well, it wasn't obvious to me because I'm also a functional idiot sometimes, but now that you've laid it out, obviously it makes sense why you would want Heracles in here. So let's move on to our next character. Now you said her name before, and you said it very differently from how I was reading it to myself.
Hippolyte.
Hippolyte, yes. I was saying Hippolyte. I was reading it phonetically.
You are not alone. This is something that everybody has had. And like, admittedly, I need to actually correct this. It's Hippolyte. And this is probably why it's tripped people up. It is Hippolyte. Now, this is probably my favorite character to write in the series. And I was not expecting this. So Hippolyte is a very interesting character. She is one of the major queens of the Amazons. Her probably largest role in anything in Greek mythology is one of the 12 labors of Heracles is that he is supposed to retrieve Hippolyte's girdle. And so she is the definition of a support character in pretty much every story that she's been in.
Okay.
And so one of the coolest things about that in the context of Elysian Fields, where she's a lead, is that because she has been in the support cast in pretty much every role that she's been in, there's not a lot of coherency. There's a lot of different versions of Hippolyte in Greek myth. So I got to mix and match the ones that I felt best fit the story.
Oh yeah, and that's an advantage of being a creator and being able to do something like this. And I do appreciate that you're able to pull from real life culture and real life stories and mythologies, and be able to respectfully pull them out and put them into situations where in the stories that we've heard about them they've never possibly been in before, and you're giving a character like Hippolyte the opportunity to shine is awesome.
Absolutely.
And also with Heracles trying to go and retrieve her girdle, if it was while she was alive, I would say good luck, because she looks like she could go a few rounds with
She's
him.
well, and this is the fun thing about her character is, and so when I originally did Elysian Fields, I actually had instead of her, I had King Theseus from Theseus and the Minotaur,
Good night, shell frogs.
and
Sorry.
so this was actually one of the big things I changed when I was doing the reboot was Theseus. I had kind of I didn't particularly like where I was going with him. I didn't feel like he was providing enough of a dynamic in the story. But I had this one thing I had written with Theseus, because Theseus, in some versions of the myth, marries Hippolyte, and they have a son named Hippolytus. And this union is actually, according to some versions of the myth, the root cause of what is known as the Amazonomachy, which is the war between Athens and the Amazons, which is depicted on the Parthenon. So what we ended up having is we have this character in Hippolyte that obviously has a very strong tie to Heracles and Greek culture. But then on the other side is Hippolyte in pretty much every version. One of the few consistent thing is she's killed by her sister. And her sister is another character whose name is going to sound very familiar to you because I just talked about her, called Penthesilea.
Yeah, that's a mouthful for me.
who is who is the Amazon queen that Achilles kills at Troy.
Sorry.
And so we have this character who is a fantastic bridge between these other two.
Sorry about that. I'm just trying to. It looked like the stream wasn't on the YouTube side. It looked like in the YouTube studio the stream was not playing, so I was trying to check on that. So, and then also my boy Big Z. What's going on, Big Z? How are you, man? How are you, man? But yeah, no, everything is good on YouTube though. Sorry about that. I was actively listening to you though. Fortunately, with having a background where I need to be able to listen to multiple people talking to me at the same time, sometimes my active listening is on point. So I am attentive, even though if it doesn't look like it.
No, I completely get it.
But no, YouTube is good. We are all good. It looked like something was going on with it for a second. But continue, please, sir.
Yeah, but that was the whole thing. Was it was just she had this very interesting tether to both Achilles and Heracles that could really bring them all together as a strong team. And so that's what I did, is I focused on that. And she's just she's been one of the best characters to write, and she's actually getting her own spin-off
Oh, awesome.
called Song of Hippolyte. And we've shared some of the art from it. We initially shared a test screen. We initially shared a test page from this character profile that's going to be at the end of issue 2, and then
Okay.
today.
I think I did, because that was on X that you had that, right?
Well, yeah, we've posted.
Because I remember seeing you put some images out there in the last day or two. And I was like, oh, I
Well,
don't remember seeing
today I
that.
posted a new page from that character profile. So, hold on, I'll share screen.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Because there is, let's see, how do I do this on here? Okay,
So, yeah, you go ahead, and then I'll just
much more.
transfer it over to you.
So, stretch goals that are about to be unlocked, we announced. And so this is actually from that 12-page preview as well. This wasn't the initial test page that we had this artist do. Her name's Kodasea, phenomenal artist that Miranda found. And this is actually within this story, is you're actually seeing her charge after Heracles and his companions after he's stolen the girdle of Hippolyta from her.
Oh, okay.
So she's pissed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said earlier, the fact that he had to do that just from the design that that your team put together for her, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think Heracles should have thought twice about that.
Well, I mean, like Heracles, like if you know what caused Heracles to do the 13 labors, or the 12 labors rather, you know that it didn't matter. Like in order for him to redeem himself, he was going to face anything. But man, imagine being on the receiving end of this freaking thing.
No, that kind of reminds me of Queen Comic's wife when what is it, when when I forget to empty the dishwasher for her sometimes, or if she goes if she's coming back from the grocery store and I know to expect her, and then I'm still not ready for her. Not saying the Queen Comic's wife is violent or aggressive towards me, but oh boy, if I am in the wrong, oh boy, I have it coming to me, and I deserve it full so. Quick
Well,
Comics Life goes, what the F is wrong
um,
with you? I was explaining when I am in the wrong. She says, "Oh, I can be." Yeah, exactly.
yes.
So yes, I
Um,
fear for Heracles in this image because
yeah,
self experience, life experience.
yeah. Well, and so like this is like this is a fun little so this is from that character profile. And so as you can see on the X says the final 48 hours, Elysian
Mhm.
Fields Reborn is crushing goals. So at 5.5k, we unlock this Slaughter of Hector mini print, which is right here,
There you go, Pixel.
which
Symbolic of your danger.
is so freaking cool. You've got Achilles here
I
holding.
love this spread. Now, this is going to be a splash in the book, I assume, right? Because
No,
just
it's
because of the
not.
size.
So we actually did so before when we were getting uh when we were starting off, I had 12 pages done and we made a preview book. And so for the cover for the preview book, we had this penciled thing of him killing of like the death of Hector where he's dragging his body around.
Uh huh.
And so that was a sketch cover for the 12-page preview.
Oh,
So,
okay. Oh,
so this is
I'm thinking of another splash in the book then.
so this is a mini print that everyone will get when we cross 55.
Well,
So once we cross 5,500, everyone who backs a
yes.
physical tier gets this as a mini print.
Oh, wow. Along with the 12 pages.
Oh no, so the 12 page preview was something that I did a while back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like this one
I
this would
apologize. I again,
you're
functional
good.
idiot here. So
All good. Point is you get this as a mini print with your book once we cross 55. And then If you backed this cover at 6K, this gets upgraded to a rainbow holofoil as seen here.
Yes, which, by the way, everybody, if you haven't done so already, please go back this project on Kickstarter. Link is in the description. Mods, please be dropping that link for the Kickstarter as well, because we want to help Michael hit these stretch goals, because the foil cover on this cover in particular looks awesome. Because this is the cover that I have my eyes on.
So we've got some pretty impressive foil covers. I'll show those off here in a sec because I actually have them right next to me. But so yeah, this one, the Hades homage cover by Zachary Pimentuan is tremendous. And then we have this image, which you guys have seen. At 6.5K, we will be doing an ash can limited to this campaign only.
Ooh.
Of the character profile of Hippolyta that serves as the prelude for Songs of Hippolyta.
Okay, so we got work to do on this stream then. Come on, people, let's go.
Yes. So like that's the whole thing. I'm hoping that by the time if by the time we close we're able to get between 7 and 8K, I'll be pretty happy because I'll be able to pretty much invest we will have enough to fulfill, and whatever we have left should be able to complete production on issue 2.
Oh, awesome. And for anybody who is watching, I mean, obviously, we'd love for you guys to go back this for Michael and for his team. But also, even if whether you can or can't, at the very least, what you guys can do is if you guys can take that link to the Kickstarter, go out, share it on your socials, or email it to people or whatever, just in the next couple hours here within the next 24 hours, because this is ending in I think exactly 24 hours from this moment right now. Because we were 25 hours when we started the stream an hour ago.
I think it's 9:30 to be exact. So like you have 30 minutes
plus 24 hours.
30 minutes right now. But yes.
All right, so give me 1 second. Oh, okay. So there was something going on in the chat about when we were talking about Greek Comics Wife and her affiliation with that with that image we were seeing there and my real life experiences. Hold on, let me replace the screen share real quick first.
No worries.
You don't gotta put screen share.
Okay, she's here. Pixel was saying ComixDad blink if you're in danger. Now we get to see watch him try not to blink for the rest of the show.
Blink.
And she said,
blink,
that's
ahead,
okay,
blink.
Pixel. I'll just hit him with a spoon on camera. And as you just saw, there is the spoon in question. There, I'm not blinking.
Yeah, don't blink.
This is going to be really rough.
Blink. I dare you.
Go ahead. I deserve it.
Oh, no, I'd be harder than
Hi. Now that my life is no longer in imminent danger.
Oh, it is.
This happens no matter what we're doing, whether it's she and I do a stream together too every other week, and this is that's basically what that whole stream is. It's just me going at her and her coming back at me, sometimes with a spoon, sometimes without.
Hey man, I can't judge at all. It happens.
But so let's get, since we were talking about covers, let's go through the covers. You have them previewed here on the Kickstarter page, so I'll go through them on here, and then you said you have them with you, so go ahead and feel free to show them off as we go through this.
So I'm going to show off the upgraded ones that we have.
Oh, okay.
What's
going on? What's happening? Hold on. Something's being put on my head.
No.
Oh, is Megatron on my head?
Megatron's on your head.
So Megatron is on my head. For those of you who don't know, we just brought home a baby bearded dragon last night, and its name is now Megatron, and apparently she put it on my head.
That's great. That's what you want.
I don't know if you can see him, but he's like right at the
I don't know.
rim. There he is. Yeah,
there you go. There's Megatron. Hail Megatron. All right, can you take him, please?
Take him.
All right, thank you.
Come on, baby.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Anyway.
So for this cover, for instance, one of the things that I like to do with stretch goals is rather than doing a crazy amount of tchotchkes, I instead invest in the quality of the book to be upped.
For sure.
Like this cover got a nice little upgrade. So we got to do this lava holofoil.
Ooh, okay. You might be changing my mind on which cover I want to
Hey man,
back for
you
now.
know what you can always do, ComixDad, is you can always add on an additional cover
That
and
is
make it
true.
very affordable. So, and then at 5K, we unlocked another cover upgrade for the V. Ken Mary and Andrew Dollhouse cover.
Which this one is also really awesome with the
And
swipe and the of the slash
you
following.
now get that with a silver holofoil.
Ooh, okay,
Which
let's
I'm
pull that
not
up now.
normally a fan of, but it really does this cover justice.
Oh my, that is you're making this hard on my wallet, dude.
That's the goal.
Oh no, of course that's the point,
And
and I love it. I hate it, and I
and
love it at
then
the same time.
and then so the next cover is the Von Randall Robert Nugent cover, which is fantastic. I haven't figured out how I want to upgrade this one yet.
Okay,
Because like here's my thing. I could just have it have the lava foil thing, but I feel like that's lazy, right? Like I've already upgraded one book with that. I feel like if I'm going to upgrade this, it should be with something else. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it. I'm considering doing a
embossed.
embossed one, yeah, like doing I don't know why I'm blanking on what it's called,
No,
but
you're good.
like doing an embossed cover of all of these guys. um and so I've been considering that, but the big problem is the majority of the printers that I know that do that and are affordable are out of state, and with all of the tariff situation and everything like that,
Of
it
course.
might just not be doable. So I might have to just do the lava thing. It's not what I want,
Yeah.
but whatever.
I think, and I know, and you know many more creators than I do. But just one thing that I think of when it comes to embossed, I know Eric July's team over at Rippaverse has done some embossed photos. Now I don't know who they use as a printer or whatnot, but
They
that
also have the advantage of being able to reasonably like, and I say reasonably in that they will have the demand for the supply of
Very true.
thousands upon thousands, and so like the printers that they use are going to offer completely different rates because they're printing at a completely different quantity than what I'm able to print at.
Very
Like,
true,
like,
and that's why I'm just spitballing, and
yeah,
at the
no,
end of the day, it's all
like that.
yours, man.
So generally speaking, I use digital printing services
Okay,
because I have smaller print runs.
and that makes sense.
For what Eric uses, is he's going to likely use an industrial printer that I'm blanking on what it's called, but it's a different printer, and they only do like mass orders. I think the smallest QTY that you can do is like 500.
Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah.
And like, guess who's never going to have a need for 500 copies of one of their books unless I really end up blowing up here in the next year or so.
Well, I was gonna say definitely never say never, but I get
Never
where you're
say
coming
never,
from.
obviously.
I do
But,
get where you're coming from, though.
like if I ended up getting on some place that gave me a large enough platform, sure,
Yeah.
like obviously, but generally speaking, I'm kind of like I have an audience. I'm trying to grow it. I'm trying to expand it.
Mhm.
But generally, I have between 100 and 300 backers on any given book, right?
Yeah.
Not a bad place to be
No, definitely not.
for an indie guy. But like that means I am never going to have a need to print over 500 to 1,000 copies of any single issue of my work,
Yeah.
unless things have drastic changes.
And that's why I enjoy doing like the indie comic highlight videos that I do, and why I'm enjoying having this with you, and why I'll be enjoying doing this for Pixel Trader and his crew with the Little Mermaid at the end of next week, and because just
Mhm.
there's so many projects out there that deserve that kind of platform. Because I mean, honestly, as much as so many people out there, myself included, and I'm sure you as well, grew up loving the big two of DC and of Marvel. I mean, and even to some extent, Dark Horse and IDW, I have mixed feelings on how they've been doing things over the last few years as well. I mean, Image is really the only publisher that I think major publisher that I could really get behind. So if part of what I would like to achieve is if we could prop up more indie creators and get them on people's radars and grow the audiences to the point where maybe you're not necessarily going out and starting your own massive publishing company like Rippaverse or like Image or something like that, but at least to the point where like, hey, these guys are on our radar and you guys become kind of household names in the comic book industry. That is what I would love to see for the future of comics.
I mean, yeah, and I certainly would love to get to that point. Like, and you know, people can say whatever they want about the quality of Rippa's books, but like the guy has made a very successful business model.
Oh, for sure.
And you know, all power to him. He's doing what most people that are at my level want to be doing.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm trying to just do my own little part and just trying to help that happen because, granted, I'm not a channel of 100,000 subs or 1,000,000 subs or anything like that, but like every little voice helps, every little bit of exposure helps, and that's all I'm trying to do.
The way I see it is, you are a newer channel that has a completely different audience than I am, at least, am used to chatting with. Like, I don't recognize most of the people that are in the chat tonight, and that's great because that gives me an opportunity to get new support, whether it's backings or people sharing these out to their friends. Because I do genuinely believe that people can take one look at this and be like, yeah, I want this. Like, it's a good looking book. We print on an oversized 8.5 by 11 format. The art freaking sings on the page.
Oh, I can imagine.
And like every cover here is a banger. Like Von Randall and Robert Nugent work on freaking Spawn, for God's sake. Like,
yeah, that's this cover. I mean, I love all the covers for different reasons, but I think this one might just be my favorite because it's got all your major characters front and center, all lined up but still staggered, and the detail is just amazing. But
Vaughn is tremendous. Like, it's insane. I've known Vaughn for years. It's been amazing seeing his star rise, and it's really cool because, like, you know, I still read I still read a couple of titles from the big two, and one of them is Marvel's Ultimates, which I'm really enjoying for the most part.
Yes.
And Vaughn is doing the interiors of the next issue, and I'm like,
oh, is he?
That's going to be unfortunate for the artist that's been doing this entire series, because like the artist that's been doing the art for the entire series is good, but like, there is good, and then there's Von Randall.
Fair enough. And I've been keeping up.
That guy's art look like dog shit. By comparison, it's not going to be fair.
And I've been keeping up with the Ultimates strictly just because I have, not to get away from your stuff, but since you mentioned just a couple of things reading from the big two, coincidentally, the only thing I'm reading from Marvel isn't the Ultimates, but it's Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man is the Spider-Man comic that every single comic fan has wanted for the past 20 to 30 years.
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
Fantastic. And the other Ultimate book that I highly recommend is Ultimate Wolverine.
Yes, I just finally read the first issue of that about 2 weeks ago, and I was hooked.
Like, it is so good. Ultimate's 1 year in, very interesting, really good. Or I think it's the Ultimate Universe 1 year in, is a really good spy thriller issue. Like, it's a single one issue thing.
Oh yeah,
and blow your mind. The Ultimates book is good when Denise Camp has his head out of his ass, which is like 80% of the time. There's been a couple of issues that have made me go, ugh. But like Denise Camp is a very talented writer. He is just also a very political human being. And so every now and again he does something ridiculously stupid. There's exactly one issue that made me almost quit.
Oh.
I
haven't read all of them. I've only read up to I think 6 or 5 right now. So I haven't gotten fully caught up on Ultimates yet. But
the Luke Cage issue is phenomenal.
Okay.
The way that they handle Luke Cage, they make him a modern day John Henry. Like instead of man versus the machine, as in the man versus the train, it's man versus the machine, as in man versus the system.
Oh,
and it's good.
Yeah. It's and so the Ultimates, because I know the Ultimates I think are 14 issues in, so Vaughn is going to be doing the interiors for 15.
That sounds right. It's the Iron Fist issue that's coming up.
Okay, because I will definitely be sure to keep my eyes out on that, and I may very well have to go pick that one up as a physical copy.
He's doing the interior art right now on Rogue Savage Land, and he's crushing it.
Is he? Okay.
His Magneto art is like ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, I have literally, like I said, the only title out of Marvel I've been reading is Ultimate Spider-Man, and even then, I wouldn't have if Hickman wasn't writing it, if Donny Cates was writing it instead, like he was supposed to.
Yeah, well, Hickman is. Everyone tries to throw Hickman under the bus, and I'm like, look, man, House of X, Powers of X is one of the best X-Men stories ever written. Everything that happened after that, blame Marvel editorial.
Oh yeah. Well, and my introduction to Hickman was actually East of West, out of Image.
Oh man,
that was so wonderful.
I have the entire collection right back here.
Oh, you lucky man!
End Times soft cover compendium. I've got it right back here.
You fantastic man! I am so jealous right now.
Every single time I tell people about this book, I have 2 selling points: post-apocalyptic sci-fi western, and one of the villains is evil Mark Twain.
Yes,
Chamberlain is the shit. He is the most quotable person in comics, and every single time I read his dialogue, I go, Jonathan Hickman was totally just writing evil Mark Twain. Like he's
absolutely
for it, everything. I fucking love Chamberlain. He is great.
So, last comment before we get back into talking about Elysian Fields and get into this final cover, which I think is also fantastic. Hickman needs to be the editor-in-chief of all of Marvel Comics.
I agree.
Needs to happen. Him, and then you got Vaughn and Mark Cicchetto. The two of them need to run the art department.
So Hickman is the only person writing over at Marvel right now that has written pretty much every single character in Marvel's itinerary of characters that they're publishing right now in some capacity over the last 20 years.
And it shows. It absolutely shows.
Between Future Foundation, Avengers, New Avengers, Time Runs Out, Secret Wars, and House of X, Powers of X, and now Ultimate Spider-Man, and even the Ultimate the lead up event to this new Ultimate run.
Yes, that's right. The Ultimate Invasion, I think it was called.
Yeah, Ultimate Invasion. All of that, all Hickman, and all like when Hickman is on, he is on fire. Like that guy is fantastic.
He's unstoppable. But you know what else is unstoppable?
This cover.
This cover D right here. You like that segue?
So this is
God, it's so good.
There is a game out there called Hades.
Yes, that's what I thought of.
Games. And so days before we launched, Hades 2 had its full platform release. So we wanted to do a Hades homage cover. So I was looking for artists that had a similar style through ArtStation and all these other places. And I'm finding this guy, Zachary from Matuan. And his piece that he did for this Hades contest was amazing. You could not tell the difference between his art and the art director of the game's art. And so I was like, okay.
I mean, it shows just in this cover. It's phenomenal.
Here's the really cool part, man. Zachary Pimentuan is like 20 years old and is in art school. This is his first professional gig. He did everything. Pencils, inks, colors. All of it. Him.
The dude has a future. Holy crap.
He crushed it.
I'm speechless now knowing that. Like I remember seeing I forget if it was here on the Kickstarter page or somewhere else that you mentioned it, but I remember seeing that this was like his first professional cover. I didn't know that A, his age, and B, that he did literally all of it.
Yeah, he did everything from the layout. He sent me initial thumbnails. Incredibly professional. I think he finished this cover in about 2 months.
Wow.
And that was like him juggling, work with school effect.
Oh, for sure. And that's already a juggling act in and of itself.
So like 2 months, constant communication. Whenever I had a revision, he was quick to it. Like, so good. Definitely looking to work with him again. Tremendous talent.
Absolutely. Hopefully he's not watching and hearing all this praise, because then he might come back to be like, "Hey, Michael, I heard what you said."
I'm fine with that, man.
No, for sure.
Pay the artists their due. Absolutely.
No, it's well earned, well deserved. But that's okay. My decision's even harder now because I would absolutely love to. Well, you know what? Before I actually make my statement, I was gonna make. So once the Kickstarter is over, there's going to be opportunities to back afterwards. Correct?
That is correct. So every single main cover will be continued to be available during a late pledge period. I don't know how long it'll be, but it will be up for a little bit. I know that I'm planning on doing a Fund My Comic. I want to get a couple of special covers done for that. Mm-hmm. Because like one of them being having Luke Stone do a variant, because he actually helped me out a lot with issue 0.
Did he?
I love Luke. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was just coming in. I knew like nothing. He set me up with my first printer. He lettered the book for half of his normal rate.
Oh, wow.
He introduced me to shows where I could go promote. He really took me under his wing. Luke Stone is like an older brother to me. I love that man. He's family.
Hopefully I get the opportunity to talk to him one day, because I was talking. I don't know who runs the Fund My Comic X account.
Well, I'm sure. I don't know if his X account is him, but
I don't know who runs the Fund My Comic X account, because I did reach out and say, hey, like, if one of you guys is available, I'd love to have you on the show. And whoever was running the account that particular day was like, well, I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm pretty sure Luke would love to. I was like, awesome.
Luke is awesome. He's such a good dude, and his career in comics is awe-inspiring. He has faced a lot, and he continues to get back up, and he does better work each and every time. The guy's awesome. I love Luke Stone. He's a good friend.
That's awesome, man. Now, real quick before we get into, because I think after this is really, you have a section further up that highlights your team here, so I want to get into that. But before we do, everybody, just a quick reminder: if you have any questions about the book, or any questions for Michael, whether it's about the book or about anything else, really, his his career in independent comics, in anything about his obviously almost encyclopedic knowledge of these various mythologies that are being incorporated into the book, or even his favorite color. Anything. If you got any questions, put them into the chat. I will mark them. So please be patient. We will get to the ones that I have marked already, but just keep the questions coming. We will definitely. I will be definitely getting to those very soon here. But in the meantime, though, let's go up and just cover and give a good nod to, just because obviously you're the creator. This is your brainchild. You've written all this, but it is not just you. It
Yeah.
is so many talented people that have gone and worked on this. So we got this guy up here. Man, we've talked about this guy enough. Just kidding.
Dude, that guy's a pretentious dick. If you talk any more about him, you'll completely inflate his ego, and nobody wants that.
But no, of course we've got you. Now,
Yes.
so we've got Drew Williams here. So go ahead and talk to everybody about Drew Williams, just kind of his involvement and where he falls into place on all this.
Drew is one. So I met Drew because he backed Elysian Fields issue 0, and he, I think, actually did the first official review of Elysian Fields issue 0 on his ASW Comics YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
And he became somebody that I could rely on as an honest voice. He was like he was never one to like blow smoke up my ass or anything like that. Just a super earnest guy that really cared about what I was trying to do and wanted to make sure that I did it the best way I could. And so when I was looking at doing this reboot and I was looking for an editor, I knew he was the right pick. So he's been doing comics. He's been working on his own book for ages. Super smart guy, incredible attention to detail. It was the obvious choice. So Drew is the editor of the book. Absolutely. And please give him a follow on socials. He's pretty easy to find.
What is his is he just Drew Williams?
Yeah, like it's literally Drew Williams. I think his @ is ASW Comics. Like he's very easy to find. You will hear him very frequently getting into fights with people about the new Superman movie.
Yeah, I've heard quite a bit. Okay, yep, at ASW Comics, I just found.
Yeah, like very easy to find. And you know, he and I are both very excited for the new film. But like, point is, so yeah, great editor, really fantastic. And he's also a very big reason why Hippolyta is getting her own spinoff. Was he read the character profile I wrote for her, and he was just like, "This is one of the best scripts you've ever written. You need to do more for this character. They deserve, like, you need to do something." And so that's what kind of did that.
Well, then, hail to Drew Williams. So go ahead and talk to us about William Reyes.
William War Reyes is one of the best pencil artists I have ever freaking seen. He is so good. And it blows my mind that he has not been picked up by a major publisher.
I mean, it makes sense just from seeing what he's done with this.
I
mean, it doesn't make sense, I guess I should say.
Yeah,
why he hasn't been picked up. It makes sense what you're saying. It doesn't make sense why he hasn't been picked up.
What's even more mind-boggling about this is that he does all of his art traditional. So, like, you could sell it. You can do also like from like a marketing aspect from them, like huge win with Will.
Oh yeah.
And I am so fortunate to get to work with him. He is so talented, and he genuinely loves this story. He loves being able to play with these characters, and you'll never believe just the crazy stuff we've got coming for you in issue 2. Because like I've been getting his layout, his pencils, and they're just he's incredible.
Well, and just his love for it shows. I mean, even in just where is it? I was looking at just this one here, this
Dude,
one panel here, where it just shows kind of Achilles going through his
a-
whole landing and somersault acrobatics here. It's so cool how he laid
as
that out.
as someone who has actually gotten a chance to read the book, I think that you can actually back me up on this. As great as these pages are that you see on this campaign, they're the worst pages of the book.
Yeah,
Because they,
I didn't want to necessarily go too much into what I did see, talk about scenes in there and ruin it for people. But yeah,
no, like
yeah,
not even,
these
don't
preview
even have
pages
to
are
go into
awesome.
yeah, like all that needs to be said is, as great as these pages are, you ain't seen fucking nothing yet, because
No,
all of the stuff that you've seen on this campaign is the work that they did to get into the flow. This is the warm up.
oh yeah, yeah, it's definitely you definitely save the best for the for those who go and back and pick it up, which everybody should be going and backing this sometime in the next 24 hours. Or if not, there will be other opportunities, but if you
Yeah,
can, definitely go and back this in the next
I
24 hours.
certainly appreciate it. Yes. Wow.
Let's talk about Tiago.
Tiago Gomez. Well, if you're a fan of the Ripperverse books, you probably have seen his name. They have been using him for everything, which I am very glad to see. Again, another indie talent star rise.
Oh, for sure. And I
But
absolutely enjoyed his work on Alpha Core 1. Now, the actual story itself, Alpha Core, was great with Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett, of course, but obviously it's not just the two of them. Yes, they are the biggest names in for that story and for a couple others at Ripperverse, but Tiago did a great job with Alpha Core. I enjoyed it from start to finish because of not just the story that was told and the art, but like the inks, especially on the one villain, the molten guy, or the fire rock molten rock guy or whatever. I can't remember exactly, but the fire based villain. Like the way that he inked that character in particular, and then a couple of pages at the end for the big dramatic moment at the end of the book. He inked those so well
yeah, no,
that
Tiago's great.
I thought at first it was like a couple of people that kind of got their hands on it and went back and went over it again, and it was just him. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Tiago is something special, and he's a tremendous anchor. And it's one of those things where, you know, there's an old Kevin Smith movie called Chasing Amy, which focuses on these two comic book creators, and it's like one of them is the writer and does like the pencils, and then the other guy's the inker. And so everyone's constantly calling, "Oh, so you're the tracer? Like you're the guy that traces over the lines?" It's, no, and but like it is the sad truth is that there, like, it's this very underappreciated part of the comic process of getting the pencils ready for the full on colors.
Yeah.
Um, and Tiago bears that burden with grace and does a great job.
Well, and it's kind of like one of those jobs that it's just what is it, like the unsung heroes of comics are the inkers,
100%.
really.
I would say inkers and letterers.
Yes.
Oh man, a bad letterer will ruin a freaking book.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm
man.
sure you and I have both seen enough to prove that true.
Absolutely, I like it. Like,
But shout out to Tiago, of course.
it's nuts how bad, like how bad lettering can really just fuck up a book.
Oh yeah. Well, and I forget what it was, but I saw something. This was about maybe 4 years ago. It was something like that came out of. I think it actually came out of Dark Horse. I don't remember the title because I ended up just chucking it to the side and never looking at it again until I sold part of my collection a year or two ago. But the lettering was so bad in it that there were times where I thought I was reading the words wrong because I was reading the words wrong because the letters were coming together looking like different letters.
Oh,
And it
geez.
just killed the entire book for me. It was one of those stories that they do at Dark Horse where it's like a 4 issue one-off miniseries, and never to be heard from again. So I can't even remember the name of it, but I remember the lettering being so bad. I was like, how am I even actually reading this right
That's unfortunate. Oh,
now?
and on a professional book, it's one thing if it happens in the indie scene, but to be at like Dark Horse, Image,
Yeah.
see Marvel, and have bad lettering.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure it was Dark Horse. But anyway, let's just give quick shout outs to Lou Winter and to Ruvian, and where do they fall into place on all this?
Lou Winter is our flatter, so she gets everything. She does the initial color pass to get your flat colors down to set the stage, and then Ruvian just comes in and turns it into a freaking masterpiece. Like, Ruvian might be one of the best colorists I've worked with. He's phenomenal.
And it's from what I read, the not just the penciling, not just the inking, but literally everything all comes together so well that the best pages, you will see all these people shine on the best pages of this book. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, 99% of the pages of this book are the best pages of this book.
Yeah. But and like that's the thing, it's very hard to pick. Like the ones in the campaign are fantastic.
Oh
But they
yeah.
are also where it's very clear the art team is they're getting into their groove, right?
Mhm.
But like there comes a point where all of a sudden, even like the color palettes and everything like that become more of like this pastel classical painting feel
Yes.
for a bit, and you're just like, what the hell? And that's like a funny story because like literally we're working on the book and we just get a message from Ruby and goes, guys, I've unlocked a new skill with the color work. Wait till you get this next page. And we're like, okay, Ruby. And then he posted the next page like, dude, fuck, what?
Yeah, there were a couple of times there were a couple of times I had a pretty similar reaction. Just putting everything else to the side. What is everybody's eyes drawn to in a comic first and foremost? The actual images itself,
Yeah.
not the writing, not the lettering. Yes, that is all obviously the focus because we want to know what's happening in the story. But the first thing that everybody's eyes goes to is they scan the page for the actual artistry, for the image, for the colors that are put in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was the one spread in the back half, I believe, that I opened up, or not opened up, but I scrolled down to on the digital version you sent me, and I had to stop for a second because like my brain was on overload from how awesome the colors looked.
Which one is that? Are you talking about the one in the one when they first get to the arena, or are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yes, when they first
Yeah,
get to
that's
the
a
arena.
That's a great page, and that one's in the campaign. It's a really good page, and it prints super well. I think my favorite splash page is our last one in the book, and I won't say anything about
No,
it.
definitely
Like,
don't.
but like the way that the way that Will came up with that layout and the way that it looks, I can't wait for people. Like I do plan on doing an unwrapped edition of Elysian Fields at some point. I can't wait for people to see what Will's pencils were on that.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm excited for that now. Ooh. Let's go to last but certainly not least. Let's talk about SK.
SK, our letterer. SK has been lettering my books since Pyramid Gambit, the second Elysian Fields. And I've worked with him on Elysian Fields. I worked with him on The Embrace. I'm working with him on The Embrace 2. I've worked with him on SPQR's Bizarre Adventure. I've worked with him. I think he's our letterer for American Bliss as well. I've worked with him on so many projects. He's one of the most delightful human beings in indie comics. He is a great creator in and of his own right. And he's a fantastic letterer. He's probably one of my favorite people I've worked with.
That's awesome, man, and he does a great job in this. I can't say I myself am only about maybe just under just under a year into really diving deep into indie comic scene. So I can't, unfortunately, I can't say that I've read a lot of the titles that you brought up, which I would love to, and I'm going to get around to it.
I,
Especially because I know some of them are on Global Comics, so I have a Global Comics subscription. But
yeah,
but I really loved SK's work just in reading this alone.
I need to get the Embrace up on Global Comics. Once we get the Embrace 2 done, I'll probably get both of those up there. And then, yeah.
And for those of you out there, Global Comics is a great substitution, but it does not completely replace physical. Keep that in mind. Digital is great for convenience, but if you can, go physical. Always support physical media first and foremost, unless you absolutely cannot do so. There's my quick little PSA and shout out about physical over digital. But so we went through the covers and yep. So your reward tiers. So obviously, as we discussed, I was able to you sent me the digital edition myself to read. So there is a digital edition for anybody that maybe either unfortunately can't grab a physical copy or just prefers digital over physical. So there is that there for everybody. You've got your main cover with 44 pages of story. And so, as you were talking, your stretch goals and your milestone markers are improving the covers. Outside of improving the covers,
a good chunk of them we've done that. Now we do have some small tchotchkes that we've done. Like I think our first stretch goal was actually unlocking the hype guy sticker, which is hilarious. I love them.
I saw that. I saw the picture of that sticker. That was really fun. But I did just want to come down to these because I think the hype guy sticker is actually below here somewhere.
Yes.
So we'll just run through it in order. So obviously you got your merch.
We put the hype guy on every single high end tier. So like if it's one of our high end tiers, you have the hype guy going, yeah,
I saw,
yeah, going ahead and back of the hype, like, yay, hype guy.
And just I'll say it for everybody that will be reading this in the future: we need more hype guy.
He's going to be Where's Waldo'd into every issue. Don't worry.
Yes.
Hype guy is where it's at.
But so we've got a Nine Realms and Elysian Fields merch here. So
yes,
these
so
the hat has your logo for Nine Realms on it, correct?
Yep, and I'm actually wearing it right now. I'm wearing my own hat right now. It's delightful. I love this thing.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm all about that, so that's good for me.
And then there is the Elysian Fields has 3 different t-shirts. So our main t-shirt is the Achilles slash shirt. And so there is a 2-page spread in the book of Achilles killing Memnon where he slashes Memnon across the face, across the chest. And so we isolated that image of Achilles and had him cut across the chest of the t-shirt. And so you're effectively being killed by Achilles. It's a pretty swanky t-shirt.
It looks like what you're doing that on the right here too, but with a tank top.
Well, yeah, so then we have the V. Ken Marion Andrew Dollhouse cover. We made a t-shirt. And so there's a men's version and then there's a women's version.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Achilles slash is on the left. What am I talking about? My bad.
It's all good.
My brain's starting to fry a little.
It's all good. It's getting late, man. I get it.
Nah, you're good, dude. But the shirts look awesome.
Yes.
And yeah, putting this the cover B on a shirt, definitely great idea. It's I like shirts that have some pizzazz to it, and with the sword slash going across like that is it's got that pizzazz that I like, that really draws attention to the shirt.
Absolutely.
So now we've got your special reward tier here.
Yes, and as you see, the hype guy is cheering you on if you decide to get this. So,
hype guy, let's go.
This is your Coffer of Glory tier. So what comes in the Coffer of Glory? You get a collector's box. You get all 4 covers of the book. You get 3 acrylic standees of each of our main characters, Achilles, Hippolyta, and Heracles. And then you get the Achilles slash t-shirt.
Very nice. And then, of course, a hype guy sticker.
Well, the hype guy, everyone gets a hype guy. But
just
the
just
hype
had to
guy
throw that in there because hype guy is front and center.
yes, hype guy is there. Now, we also have a limited upgraded edition of this called the Panoply Upgrade. So we more talk about it because it's literally the same thing, except you also get metal editions of each book. So metal cover versions of each book. And that's the Panoply edition. We're only doing 20 of those. And that's for an additional $100.
There it is.
The Panoply
cool.
Upgrade.
That's really cool. Now is it just metal prints of the covers, or is it like the actual books with metal covers?
It is the book with a metal cover.
That's wild. Oh man. Wallet. Easy wallet. Easy.
I'm making it very difficult for you, I know.
You are.
Now we're talking about original art tiers. So we have the pencils of William Moore Reyes's cover of Elysian Fields. They're fucking gorgeous. It's $500, which is a steal.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
11 by 17 Bristol board.
Now, and it's the base cover. Is there is it's the one the one of just the base cover?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean it's beautiful. Will does great work. So yeah, that is, like you said, that's a steal in my eyes, especially for people that can truly appreciate. Because I mean, comic book art is, in my mind, just as good, if not more. What's the word? I guess awe-inspiring is a good word to use, than like the hoity-toity art that's put up in like art galleries and whatnot. The stuff I got to look at and look sideways and upside down and do somersault while looking at it, while trying not to spill a glass of Dom Perignon or something like that in order to appreciate it.
And modern expressionists and stuff. Yeah, no, I got you.
But yeah, absolutely well worth the amount and a steal. And then we've got a Von Randall original art.
Yep. The Von Randall original art for $1,000. You get his original pencils and inks. He did this traditionally for me.
Ooh.
Fantastic work. And if nobody gets that, y'all are screwed, because I am totally keeping it.
That's fair. And then, hey, you know what? That's just going to be a great piece on your wall if nobody snags it from you.
The same thing with that Will War Reyes piece. If nobody buys that, it's getting hanged up.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get hung up. But if it does, it's definitely a great piece for you.
Yes. And then V. Ken Marion traditional pencils and inked cover art for $2,000. It's so good.
And this digital screen capture does no justice, I'm sure.
No, and it's also 11 by 17 on Bristol, fully penciled and inked, and he's also throwing in the original thumbnails that he did that were like, these were the options that we had for the cover.
I love it. And then, so those are your add-ons. Those are your reward tiers. Now we're on the stretch goals, which we covered so we got Hype Man sticker, we're funded. You got your cover A upgrade, which we went over. Angel Incarnate bookmark.
Incarnate bookmark. So she is a very talented artist. And so she has her own webcomic called Hound of Achilles, which is fantastic. She did this Achilles piece where there's a very famous Batman panel of him running across the panel, fight like as there's all these villains around, and he's screaming, "I am a model of mental health." And so she did that with Achilles doing it. Her version of Achilles doing that, I am a model of mental health. And I was like, I need one of those for my version.
Oh, yeah.
Bookmark.
and it works so well. Just from what we for either for anybody that reads it or for anybody that just knows about Achilles in general, like you do,
I
like
have
you
a
do.
model of
Just
mental
that
health.
just that line coming out of Achilles alone is fantastic.
Yes. All right.
So
I
now
need
here we go.
I need to update this because we hit 5,000. We did that
Yes,
yesterday.
and that
So
was the cover B with the silver that you showed off.
yes, and then the secret what has been unlocked at 5,500. Everyone is getting the Slaughter of Hector mini print.
Mhm.
So, and then at 6K, it says cover C. It's actually going to be cover D that gets upgraded because I'm still trying to figure out the cover C upgrade.
Gotcha.
So D is getting a promotion on there, and then at 6,500, the character profile that will be an issue 2 regardless
Okay.
will, but like you guys will get a chance to get it early as a ash can,
Oh, cool.
which will
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yeah, I definitely come on, people. Let's go.
Yeah,
So
7K cover D upgrade, 75 through 9 through I think 10 are all secrets because I don't know if I'm gonna get there. So
wow.
I'd love to.
Oh,
I'd be
absolutely.
very happy.
Well, we're
if
23.
someone bought that V Ken Marion cover in the next 24 hours, there is a very good chance we would break 10K. But
Comics crew, pull your resources together, Comics crew. Y'all can share it. Just ship it around the country to each other. But currently, we are sitting at about 23 hours to go. 159 backers, which is nothing to blow your nose at. And I mean, you've crushed your initial pledge goal already. So
yes,
good on you, man.
I'm hoping
Everybody,
to at least cross the 200% before we close out. That would be great.
yeah.
I would love to end up with around if we can end it around 8K, I will be very happy because it will have performed better than the original Elysian Fields, which would be great.
That'd be amazing, man. And so so let's get into some of the questions that people in the chat have put out, and then we'll kind of close things out. And I got another, maybe a couple of questions myself for you, and then we'll let you go on with the rest of your night, and we'll wish you all the best. And but let's get
Absolutely.
into questions. So first and foremost, Pixel Trader goes, nerd. Seriously though, I've read ahead. Get this now.
Yeah, he's gotten to read issues 2, 3, and 4.
Oh,
Read
Pixel
this for
Trader.
them.
I thought we were pals, buddy. Come on.
Issue 4 made him cry.
Really?
Yeah. He
Okay.
was like, dude, screw you. I was like,
Well, what was it when you sent me a couple of things earlier today? I told you, I said, dude, you're holding out on me. What the heck? Now you're holding out on me even more, knowing that it got that kind of a reaction out of Pixel.
yeah.
I can't wait. Panda Simone says the book looks epic, great art too.
Thank you so much.
Deborah Perkins says, I love the artwork. Beautiful.
Thank you guys. It really means a lot.
Pixel Trader said trading cards or bookmarks.
I prefer bookmarks. Trading cards, they're a nice novelty, but like I have so many indie trading cards. A bookmark actually has a practical purpose.
Now, see, the way that I look at that is I just say yes to either because I have a couple of myself.
Trading card can serve as a bookmark.
Exactly, multi-purpose in my mind. The trading card basically is just an oddly proportioned bookmark in my mind.
Yes,
So
that's fair. I can accept that.
when I said was it Kickstarter earlier, that joke, Pixel Trader went, fund my comics, baby. That's where I call home, even though I'm on Kickstarter right now. No, I get it, Pixel. I was just making a joke, man. I was just making a joke. Queen Comics Wife said, Comics Dad, before the stream ends, can you introduce our new comic family member? Oh, okay, that was Megatron. We already did that. Queen Comics Wife said, Comics Dad, can you ask Michael if he will ever do an Egyptian storyline like the Greek?
So as I stated, when I did the original series, we had Elysian Fields issue 0 and Elysian Fields the Pyramid Gambit. So they were fighting Egyptians. The plan is still very much to have the Pyramid Gambit be reworked into the new Elysian Fields Reborn storyline, because it is like I do want, like, the whole kind of theme of Pyramid Gambit was they get trapped into a pyramid and they're effectively having to solve these riddles to work through their own respective books of the dead, because in Egyptian culture the Book of the Dead isn't a singular thing. Every single person would commission their own Book of the Dead that would aid them on their own respective journey to get them to their own duat. So, yes, there will be Egyptian characters that show up and play a very prominent role in Elysian Fields. They are coming.
Fantastic. There you go, Queen Comics Live. Yeah, she's the big. I was telling her about the project earlier today when I told her I was telling her about the stream tonight and everything, and she said, "Oh, well, that's cool." And I said, "Yeah, well, I mean, I figured you'd appreciate it because I know you're into different mythologies and stuff like that." And she was like, "Yeah, but what's my favorite?" I said, "Oh, great, it's husband testing time," and I got the answer wrong. So it is Egyptian. She likes Greek mythology, but yeah, Egyptian is her favorite type of mythology.
It's very interesting, and like it also is weird because it's not concrete. There's a lot of fluctuations depending on which era of Egyptian mythology you're talking about. Like, it's a very interesting thing. Yeah.
Pixel Trader said, since Mercules seems to be a thing, we'll have to talk about that too. When
as I said, I'm probably gonna end up writing that one.
Yeah. Well, and when that comes to fruition, not if, but when. When that comes to fruition, we'll do another one of these. We'll have you and Pixel and some other members of the team on and talk about all that. But yeah, for sure, Mercules is 100% needs to be a go. And Pixel, I will be definitely asking you questions about that next Friday. And then Panda Simone said, when did you first get into Greek mythology, Michael?
As I said, my dad would read me the Iliad and the Odyssey as my bedtime story growing up. So this spurred a lot of interest into mythology, history, you name it. And so yeah, that's really where I first got into it. I always loved those stories, and then I went and I started as soon as I was able to read, I was reading everything that I could about all these different mythologies. I'd say that my favorites are probably Greek and Arthurian.
Arthurian is probably, I mean, Greek is really, really cool and interesting. Arthurian just kind of takes the cake for me on a personal level, just because I'm all about like high fantasy and Dungeons and Dragons and all that, and Arthurian mythology fell right into that for me when I learned about it as a kid.
You'll be seeing a very authentically Welsh Arthur show up in Elysian Fields.
Yes, let's go. And do you hear that, people? Queen Comics Life and anybody else out there, you don't need to necessarily be a lover of all things Greek. Michael's got a little bit of everything for you. Just hang in there. Definitely pick up Elysian Fields Reborn #1.
Vikings will show up. Samurai will show up. Chinese legends will show up.
So basically, you're just going to do Assassin's Creed's model a whole lot better than Ubisoft.
We don't talk about no. Yeah, like you're going to get to see. When I say all global mythologies, I mean it. As many as I can, and there are some that are much more difficult because they don't have the same written down traditions that some Western societies have. So it becomes way more difficult and contrived to do the research. But I'm doing the best I can.
And that's all anybody can ask of you, man.
Yeah. I have this series mapped out over 30 issues.
Wow.
But
I figured you had a lot in store, but wow, dude, that's
it's
dedication,
ambitious.
brother.
It's ambitious. I have the first arc pretty much written. I'm putting finalizing touches on issue 5. Once issue 5 is done, I'll be taking a break from writing Elysian Fields for a little bit, but I have everything mapped out for a 30 issue storyline across 6 arcs.
That's awesome. And you know what? We will be here for the ride, the comics crew. We'll be here for the ride for the whole kit and caboodle, for the whole
Jose
shebang.
Atako asks,
Yup.
are there any pirates? No. And so the big thing is, again, these are characters that are set for respective mythologies. So if you had pirates, and by pirates we're obviously assuming you're meaning golden age of piracy in the Caribbean and Africa and what have you during the 16th and 17th centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys would all be under the Judeo-Christian pantheon, which while we are having those guys show up, they are not going to be like, you're not going to have epic champions from those pantheons being buccaneers.
Yeah, those blessed by particular deities or have godlike abilities and everything. Yeah, pirates
I also wanted to make sure that we abstained from having anybody that had like firearms, right? Because like
for sure.
firearms brought down, the medieval knight. Like that's
that's the game breaker right there.
Skill of arms becomes way less of a factor, and that gets rid of the appeal of Achilles doing like if his skill gets leveled by a guy just pointing a stick that goes boom at him, that ruins the whole thing. Like it's about challenging it.
And plus, hand-to-hand combat's just more fun to watch anyway. So.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, with that, Michael, brother, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to help kind of promote and talk about Elysian Fields Reborn. Like I said, when it first came across my way, I actually want to say it was. I think it was actually Pixel that put me on to you. Somebody mentioned me in one of your posts, just so I could get eyes on it. I think it was Pixel, but yeah, the second I got eyes on it, I knew. I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. This has the potential to grow some legs and go somewhere. And then when I reached out to you and you were more than willing to come on and hang out and talk about it, I was excited because I can't wait to see what you're able to do with all this with issue 2, issue 3, or chapter issue, whichever you're going to call them. Yeah. Moving forward, I cannot wait, brother. And everybody, you need to go back this either in the next 24 hours, or if not, you have the extended backer kit that Michael will be doing. And if not, then whenever he announces he's putting it on Fund My Comic, you got to go over there and grab it.
Yeah,
you have to grab it at some point. I like I said, I've had the privilege to read it. You don't want to miss out. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. You got to grab it, and then we will all enjoy everything together. Level playing ground from issue 2 onwards. But in the meantime, haha.
Well, as one last little sneak peek and tease for you, I'm going to send this to you on Twitter.
Oh,
cannot share it.
Cannot share it. Okay.
We'll
get a live reaction now.
Yeah, you'll get a live reaction on air. So this is going to be the guy that we set up to be the big bad for the first arc of Elysian Fields.
Hit me.
Yeah, everything's going to be leading to a clash between him and Achilles in issue 5.
Oh, I need to end stream now before I say anything. That's gonna be awesome. Haha. Now you guys gotta take my word for it. No, guys, seriously, that is. I didn't even think that for whatever reason that particular character did not even pop into my mind as a realm of possibility, which it should have, but it didn't. And I am now kicking myself for not thinking that, but I am so happy I didn't think that either because I am so excited to see that. I am so excited to know what this holds now. I was to begin with. I'm even more excited now. So guys, go back this. Go back issue 1, go fund issue 2, issue 3, go back issue 30 right now. I need to see how this plays out now. But Michael, brother, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Everybody go check out Elysian Fields Reborn. You can follow Michael on X. Is it at Elysian Fields? Yeah, it's at Elysian Fields.
Field to _0 is me.
Yep.
Is generally if you want to hear me complain about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, you will hear lots of that.
I'm sure we will be seeing plenty of that. But I look forward to seeing your very, very upfront and not so soft critical reviews of that, because I have thoughts and opinions myself, and I'm not someone who's nearly as embedded in Greek mythological knowledge as you are. So
I don't have the energy right now, but one day.
That's fair enough, man. But let's end this on a high note. So guys, thank you so much. Definitely go back Elysian Fields once again, the link is in the description of the streams, whether you're watching on Rumble or on YouTube. Go follow Michael on X. Also, guys, please be sure to hit like on the stream if you're watching. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe or follow, depending upon what platform you're on. And Michael, I got one question for you. Fantastic Four featuring everybody's favorite actor, Pedro Pascal. Yay or nay?
No.
Okay.
Superman's going to be getting my money in July.
Fair enough. Well, then you'll appreciate this clip that we're going to go out on. Everybody, keep an eye out. Tomorrow I'm going to do probably an afternoon model kit build. Going to do G1 Megatron. That'll be fun. So keep an eye out for that. And Queen Comics' wife streams, my streams, all that good stuff. But until next time, everybody, just be good to yourself, be good to each other, support local comic shops, support independent comic creators like Michael and like other friends of the channel that we've had on and are going to have on as well. And support small content creators like myself, Queen Comics Wife, and so many other content creators out there that want to give voices and give spotlights on awesome creators in non-YouTube streaming type of stuff as well, like Michael and everybody. But you take care, everybody. Thank you so much. On behalf of Michael, I'm ComixDad. Thanks for watching, and y'all take care. Have a good one, everybody.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?